Although it is hard to tell from the current price of silver, it experienced a significant setback previously, and then something intriguing happened. We'll go over what it is and the reasons behind silver's potential for further gains. While we go in, let's discuss it. Today, the price of silver fell. In fact, it's currently down 0.64%, or 30 cents. But that's a drop in the bucket compared to earlier today. Today, platinum, palladium, and rhodium were also hammered hard. Whenever prices drop, those are the moments and possibilities that present themselves. As I mentioned earlier, you have samples displayed on your screen at all times. I'll fill you in on my experience at the coin shop today, but if you're in the market for silver, be sure to stop by Summit Metals. Check to see whether they meet your needs. If you're interested in purchasing or selling precious metals, or just want to check out their excellent customer service, you can find the link in the video's description below. As you can see from attentively monitoring the charts, it has been quite an emotional ride for silver. I find it quite intriguing and exciting to watch what happens, even if most of us prefer to stack for the long term, and the day-to-day moves don't really matter. Silver has ended the 3-day advance here today, as the pair failed to consolidate at levels exceeding $47 and dropped to a session low. It's been fun to watch and see if you can timing the buys. Actually, that low was close to $45.74. Actually, $47.22 was the highest point, so $45.74. There is a discrepancy of $1.48. Earlier in the day, we witnessed that enormous smackdown. Actually, it typically occurred throughout the night. We witnessed its precipitous decline over the night as a result of the massive amounts of selling, profit-taking, and other related events. It smashed and soared back up just as we were about to enter the open. Before everything came tumbling back down, there was another area that occurred at approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. Since then, it has essentially been fighting its way down to its current position of being down roughly 30 cents here today. Gold, on the other hand, has soared. Later on, I will show you some further things that I have here. Plus, there's the gold coin that I put on hold at the coin shop for a long time. In addition, it has surpassed this area close to session highs and is up $20.30. At its peak today, gold was trading at $3,872.50. Attention all folks, we are a little $30 short of $3,900 in gold. Where it is at the moment is $3,855. What is happening is really mind-blowing, yet gold has been climbing like crazy recently. At its session low of $45.74 today, silver was trading at these levels. It has recovered and is now trading above $46. Really, the price is $46.67. Even for silver, that's not bad at all. During my live stream on Sunday night, the majority of you predicted that silver will likely reach $48 by Friday. That is something I can get behind. On Tuesdays, precious metals are retracing from their all-time highs. The US dollar's decline from earlier days has practically come to a halt, as investors continue to be cautious over the possibility of a federal government shutdown. When I last checked, it was far lower. Actually, I'm going to check the current dollar index level because I believe it's important to comprehend, at least in part, what's happening in the precious metals market. Here it is, down 0.08% to 97.83, while silver is down a bit, but not by much. However, just as all things must eventually decline, so too must silver. According to the technical analysis, the 4-hour relative strength index is reversing from extremely overbought levels, indicating a positive bearish correction. Currently, bears are being held in check by resistance acting in support of the area between $45.90 and $46.10, which is the area of the September 29th lows, according to a reverse trendline. Looking farther down, the prior long-term highs at $45.30 and $44.45, based on the high from September 23rd, would become apparent. On the upside, $47.15 is the level of immediate resistance. There was a break above that during the night. Beyond that, at $49.15, the Fibonacci extension of the bullish run from September 17th through the 23rd would be 161.8%. I still don't think we'll reach it, but I wouldn't be shocked if, by the weekend, with a few days remaining and knowing how the past few weeks have gone, we witness the return of this bull run. I may be mistaken, but the basics are there all the same. To explain why gold has recovered its earlier losses, I will now cite another Reuters report. After we discuss that, I'll show you the piece of gold I acquired. Now, on Tuesday, worries about an impending US government shutdown boosted gold prices to hit record highs. Still no deal as of midnight, and they probably still have time. However, J.D. Vance released a statement expressing his belief that the parties are too far apart, there is no sign of improvement, and a shutdown is imminent. Additionally, the soft jobs data will be good for gold and silver prices since it increases the likelihood that the Federal Reserve will decrease interest rates. The December US gold futures contract has settled around 0.5% higher, which is good news for the precious metal. Gold has shown incredible resiliency once again, recovering its initial losses with ease following disappointing US data that will not prevent another rate decrease in a month, says Tai Wong, an independent commodities trader. Well over 90% is already the mark. Once again, the impending partial US government shutdown heightens anxiety and lends credence to the chorus of voices urging people to purchase gold. The Federal Reserve may be able to lower interest rates again next month due to worse labor market conditions, which would explain why US job postings rose slightly in August despite a fall in hiring. At the Federal Reserve's October meeting, traders are presently pricing in a 97% chance of an interest rate drop, according to the CME Group's FedWatch tool. In times of low interest rates and general uncertainty, non-yielding gold often does very well. There is little doubt that gold has outperformed inflation with its 11.5% gain so far in September. Observing that has been quite remarkable. This little quarter sovereign, the tiniest of the sovereign series here from 2022, which I received for about spot price by the time I brought it out, is something I put on layaway quite a while ago. Still, a tiny bit of gold presented in its original blister bag from the Royal Mint to add to the collection. So, that's the end of it. For some reason, I find this design quite appealing. It's a fantastic commemoration of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. She did, however, die in September of that year, 2022. That concludes it. Therefore, we will also be discussing gold here, so that is another item to add to the pile. I also have additional silver here and here that I will show you shortly. Since Republicans and Democrats are still unable to reach a compromise before Tuesday's midnight deadline, the nation's capital is preparing for a possible shutdown. The United States economy will suffer if the government shutdown continues for an extended length of time. Furthermore, this bodes well for gold because it encourages the Federal Reserve to ease monetary policy. On Monday, the US Labor Department announced that in the event of a partial shutdown, the statistics agency will not issue any data. This includes Friday's highly anticipated monthly jobs report. Keep in mind that just approximately 17% of the government is offline, as previously mentioned. To put it bluntly, the impact on the economy will be minimal. Understanding the psychology of these markets and their movements is crucial, but you also have to consider the media's fear-mongering as a factor. The combined weight of these two silver pieces is close to 1.25 ounces. In love with these pieces. Very neat. This is Charles, King of St. Helena, from the year 2023. Very neat. 125 milliliters. It would be wonderful to add something similar to this stack, even though I already have a few of them. Actually, it's just plain old bullion, but it's nice to have some extra silver on hand. Thus, I will continue to purchase silver. I am still firmly convinced of that. And I happen to buy it today at a slight discount. Although there is not much of a dip, I will make do with what I have. That is the current situation. In other news, spot silver fell by 1.1% earlier today. Obviously, in comparison to now, it's nothing. The decline is small at 0.58%, or $46.70. I was hoping that by pressing on, we may recoup some of these losses. That, however, is intriguing. Constitutional silver, which is priced around spot pricing, is the other silver that I have. $half in dimes, winged Liberty varieties, and walking Liberty varieties were particularly scarce. On the other hand, I was able to get premium dimes here for approximately 50 cents more than spot price, in addition to a 60-cent piece from that place. Yes, for 1 penny. It made my day to receive those too. 4 of those were genuinely mine. Pleasant, premium, mint state winged Liberty dime specimens. I have 4 of them. Frankly, I don't believe constitutional is a bad choice. In my opinion, sales are picking up significantly. That is why I would be grateful for even a small amount of it. I also think it's a good idea to have a small amount of gold, particularly if you can find any at a reasonable price. Thus, I accomplished that goal with this diminutive quarter sovereign. This weighs only 1.9 grams at most. So there you have it, a touch of gold and a touch of silver added to the stack. In the space provided below, please share your opinions with me. I really hope you gained some useful knowledge from this video. I really appreciate you all watching and would be eternally grateful if you could like, comment, share, and subscribe. This was transcribed using turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.